it's, I mean, yeah, he's going to be fresh, but it's going to be more recent that we're going to be in the ring. We're going to have trained a little bit more. Uh, so yeah, I think either both me or Slade are going to have the advantage going against CJ.
Because he has to be able to get himself back in the ring. It's been a while. He's dealt with the injury. He has to deal with the process of recovering from it. He has to deal with also now being in a position where he's seen you guys recently wrestle. You guys go out there, and one of you is going to have significant momentum, and that could very well carry you into that match. Okay, well, we'll certainly say thank you, Brett, for that. And we're also joined on the PWF YouTube page and the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page. Faith over fear. So CJ is what he's saying as usual, and he's not worried. And I guess maybe we shouldn't be worried. So you're not worried at all should you face CJ then?
No, not worried about it.
Okay, fair. Okay, that's fair.
My thing is, yes, I want the world title.
Who wouldn't?
And I know it's going to be a long, hard fight regardless,
Absolutely.
but I know what to work on.
Fair. Okay, let me ask you this. And how excited are you to be able to get back out in the ring now that we're so close? Last rites is right around the corner. How excited are you to now finally get back out there again?
Very, very excited. Very just over the moon about getting back out there, getting back into the ring, being able to perform again. You know, I don't know if there's words to explain exactly how excited I am to get back in there and perform for everybody again.
Well, to quote the band Extreme, it's going to be more than words, because more than words will be able to kind of, for your feelings, be out there in the ring and be able to go out there and last rites, because you're going to have a number one contendership match against Sammy Slade to determine who will face CJ. But before I get to a few more things, this is the UWA YouTube page. They're a few subscribers away from 600. So if you're out there right now, hit the sub button for them. They're almost there. Everyone's talking about me getting to 1,000. Let's get them to 600. Let's get them more eyes on the prize. Let's get them more eyeballs. Let's support All Wrestling Matters. The UWA has been an enthusiastic supporter of us here on Sportswire Radio. I can't thank enough Jake Hall. I can't thank enough everybody in the locker room for their support. They're on my team. I want you to be on their team too. Go hit the sub button for them. We have another about 20 or so more minutes with Tristan Taylor, who is also the co-owner of the PWF Mid-South. You can get in touch with them on Facebook, Instagram. You can also check out the PWF YouTube page for future shows. You can also check them out on threadless.com for merchandise. PWFMidSouth.threadless.com. I'll put that link up here as well. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. I'm going to be here twice tomorrow or today, New York time. I'm here at about 10:15 p.m. Eastern time with Ace Reed. Ace is the host of the Wired Up podcast. He is also the BWU World Champion. He's also the new Wrestling Zero Champion. He's one of their champions. He cashed in. He won a contract there and went right for the jugular. And Ace Reed's going to be here live. Plus, I'll be here at about 12 o'clock or a little bit before that, and I'll have a special surprise, a major surprise that's going to shock the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. So you want to tune into that one. Also, please support Ace Reed. BWU on YouTube has over 1,000 subscribers. They just hit 1,000. I'm about to get 1,000. So help me get one step closer and hit the sub button for me at Sportswire Radio 6579. I'm on TikTok now. I am actually now over 150 followers in a few weeks on TikTok. Thank you for your support. Instagram, I just crossed 1,600 followers. So I thank everybody for your support. And Facebook, I just crossed 2,300. So get me one step closer to 1,000, and you can roast me on Sportswire Radio. You can control the platform. Let me get to some more comments here. Vegas Storm is in the house. Boy, Vegas Storm. Like Joe Hendry, say his name, he appears. Now, Vegas Storm. Now, that's a guy, I got to be honest, just real quick to take a slight detour. You think about PWF Mid-South. You think about a guy like Vegas Storm, who's got the heart of a warrior, a guy that basically prides himself in being like John Cena, a guy that is a true professional, a guy that came on here and was one of the most professional people I have ever seen in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. A guy that's mentor is Copper Dragon. I would have to think you and Dimitri Green might be able to make an exception and maybe see if we could get good old Vegas Storm maybe down there into Tennessee, and maybe we could work together, because this is a guy that I would recommend to play on my team just about anywhere.
Get me in contact with him.
Good deal. I'm very happy to hear that, because Vegas Storm, he can go. Anybody that's a protege of Mr. Hardcore and Copper Dragon could be on anybody's team. And speaking of that, say his name, he appears like Joe Hendry. Mr. Hardcore is here. What a coincidence. Good evening,
Yes,
gentlemen. Hope we can collaborate together in the future. Would be a fun and exciting adventure. Who knows what magic could be made from? It's funny because on the PWF Mid-South page, right, we talk about proud to be a part of the All Wrestling Matters movement, right? And Mr. Hardcore talks to me almost every day on a daily or a weekly basis and tells me how much it means to him to see all these collaborations going on in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. Now, for whatever reason, he wants to credit me. I'm not sure if I should take the credit. I appreciate some credit, but here he is now, Mr. Hardcore, and I think he wants to get in on the fun. He wants to get in on the adventure, and he's the guy that was one of the guys at the forefront of the Global Backyard Wrestling Network, and one of the guys that was at the head of the class when it came to the longest episodic running show in the history of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit in GWC intensity. I mean, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to collaborating in all kinds of shows. So DMs are open.
You want me to connect, or you think you have that contact? Because I can do something for you. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have to get involved. Maybe I should just take a slight detour. I'll take a step back, but only if you insist. I can certainly make that introduction for you.
Tommy, you are always welcome to make introductions for me.
Are you sure? All right. Well,
yes.
Fair enough. Well, I'll certainly take care of that off the air. But I would just like to say I would love to see future Atlanta Pro Wrestling in the PWF Mid-South World. Because think about it for a second. I know we'll get to UWA, but I mean, after all, we see what IMF has done with DKW, WCE. We see these other companies that have worked in Summer Bash. We've seen OMW. We've seen ROEW, certainly ROEW. We've seen companies that have gone in there and have been a part of this movement. We see now the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament. We saw the All Wrestling Matters World Championship crowned in the Summer Bash. We saw the Riot in the Ring. We saw all these people come across the place. We saw Resurrection Wrestling, huge part of Summer Bash. Shout out to Resurrection Wrestling. We even saw Skippy the Evil Clown from the Promo Wrestling Federation. I mean, I know that was crazy. I mean, listen, I don't even want to tell you half the story on that. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, why not the PWF Mid-South work with great things like IGPW? Why not work with great people like what ET has brought to the table with Brett Anderson and Will Jackson and all the things they've done in the Virginia backyard underground wrestling circuit? But why not further add to the fun in the future Atlanta Pro Wrestling, which is about to resume on August the 24th, and the roster of names that they already have? They got some star power on their roster, guys with thousands of followers. So why not add to it? After all, we're all about open collaboration. I mean, what better open collaboration to be collaborating with basically guys that have worked side by side to build the Global Backyard Wrestling Network? I mean, sounds to me like that's something that I would definitely want to do. I mean, that sounds like something to me that, and Vegas Storm said he's got goosebumps hearing this. He got goosebumps, which I think he's lying, but he got goosebumps hearing what I'm talking about right now. So what does that say, ladies and gentlemen? That maybe we should see more collaborations. Why not have the fun? I mean, listen, didn't Michael Jackson famously sing, "Don't stop till you get enough"? I mean, we should never stop. Yep. We should never get enough. I mean, after all, the fun's only just getting started, and what better way to do that with UWA and PWF Mid-South and, all these different collaborations that could be out there.
Mm-hmm.
FBA, which was a part of things, UWA, and all these Infinity and all these different groups. I mean, just why not? I mean, that's what I would say.
I completely 100% agree.
Oh, well, I'm certainly glad that you, because I was waiting for you to say I disagree, but that's okay. We appreciate that very much. Thank you, Vegas Storm. Thank you very much for that. Okay, well, great stuff on there. I'll come back to that. So let me ask you a couple of other things here before I get to close. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot on your plate. You're juggling management, owner responsibilities. You got UWA stuff to get to. But let me ask you first, simple question in layman's terms. What would it mean to you to defeat Sammy Slade and become the #1 contender to the UWA World Championship and face off with CJ at Unleashed?
Definitely notch on the belt. It's be a long time coming. I don't know if there's a specific feeling that I would get.
Mm-hmm.
It would just I don't know. It's just one of those things that would just kind of be like, okay, it's time for the next one.
I think I may have asked this question before, but I'll ask it again because the match itself has changed along with your opponent. Is this the biggest match of your career?
I'd say it's probably the biggest match that I would have in UWA right now.
Okay, it's a good point. It's a good follow up because you've obviously had other matches. Let me ask you another follow up to that. I know we talked about your family before and advice and juggling responsibilities, but have you asked them for advice about what's to come in terms of how to prepare for this particular match? Because you do have an advantage. Your family have competed in this sport at a very high level. Have you asked them for any advice?
Yeah, I have talked to my uncle. He's he didn't know what really to say other than the fact that he's just like, I'm a big guy, so you're definitely the smallest wrestler in the family. So it's going to be a tough ride for you.
That's crazy that you are the smallest wrestler in the family, and yet you're one of the taller guys in this circuit. That's wild because what are you, 6'3" right? 6'3"?
Nope, I'm 5'8".
Well, I feel like you're 6 foot, but with the poster makes you look bigger. You're 5'8".
I am 5'8".
And your family, were they 6 foot just about?
My uncle is 6'5", and my grandfather was 6'8".
So you definitely have the James Taylor syndrome.
Yep.
5'8". Okay, all right, fair enough. So size isn't the advantage. I would have thought 6'2", 6'1", but that's what posters do. Okay, all right. So let me ask you then a different question. You have another match coming up with Dalton Skull. What would that mean to you to win his championship? So whatever he has holding, should he be able to claim the FCW title as well? What would that mean to you to walk away with that?
If I were to walk out with the Uprising Championship
and the FCW title, yep,
it would be bittersweet.
Why?
It's not something that I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of let the FCW title let it lie and just start off fresh with the new Mid-South title. But that's not what everybody else wanted to do. So they wanted to unify the titles. Granted, I got the last say in it, but we took a vote on it instead.
A majority said this is
majority rules, and they wanted to unify the titles first. So we didn't have an Uprising champion. I was just like, okay, I'll do the match. Whoever wins the Uprising title, that'll be my opponent at Uprising Final Act, which will premiere on August 26th.
On a Monday. I like that. Monday, right? Monday
Yep.
night. Forget about Monday Night Raw. I'm going to get a chance to see you and Dalton Skull on August 26th, huh?
Yep.
That's going to be a fun, interesting match. And I guess you can look at it on the bright side before I get to Vegas Storm is that you're still doing something that keeps that title alive. It's something that you're still giving it a memory. You're giving it still one more moment. You can look at it conversely and say it's one more moment. There's always a positive, right? This is still something that it's going to give people a chance to see it on a bigger stage and also help launch or relaunch a portion of the PWF that has such a history. I mean, we know the PWF that Mr. Titan had started had some really big names. You know the history. You were all part of it, and to see that come back, some might have said that the PWF should have died months ago. But the fact that you're doing a great job with what you're building, I think what Omen and Soldier have done a great job in building. It's exciting times, and I want people to support the PWF. I actually want them to support them on Instagram, and I also want them to support them right here in the links I've provided. And I do have one more comment from Mr. Storm before I get to some closing thoughts, which will be this. You're going to probably be taken aback, or maybe not. No lies told, Tom. As a member of Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling, I say, let's do it. Battle of the Backyards? Did I just hear it straight? Did I just hear this? Tristan Taylor, Mr. Black Label himself, that Vegas Storm, the heart of a warrior? He seems like he's already not thinking with his head once again because he signed his own contract here over a week ago on Sportzwire Radio and didn't know one of the matches, but it seems like he's once again thinking with his heart over his head, but he wants a battle with the PWF Mid-South, and what do you think and what do you say about that?
Let me talk to Mr. Hardcore and Copper Dragon. Is that who owns Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling?
No, so Copper Dragon doesn't own Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. One of the people behind it is Jermaine Hardwick, who's also very well known in the Atlanta wrestling circuit. Copper Dragon was the man that started GWC Intensity, where Mr. Hardcore was one of the guys that helped build that company. Now, Vegas Storm is a protege of Copper Dragon.
Okay.
Copper Dragon helped guys in there. Andre Anamali, I think he helped. That are guys that are currently in Future Atlanta Pro. Cliff Balcom and Vegas Storm had fought toward the tail end of GWC Intensity. So some of the last remaining proteges of Copper Dragon are now in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. So some of the last proteges went out and have had really big careers. I mean, Skrilla was just in MLW. Fred Yehi has wrestled like some super big names. We're talking guys like Rich Swann, TJP. He's had like a really big career in the Indies. Asiego Jones, Shalante Royal, you might know a little bit from if you've seen some things there. So like those are his proteges, but some of his remaining proteges are the likes of Vegas Storm, Cliff Balcom, and they're now in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. So they're obviously a company that I support because, as you may or may not know, I sponsor Copper Dragon's reels that you see. All the stuff you see on TikTok, I sponsor him. So he's somebody that I obviously have a relationship with. He's been on the platform. I put him in the Hall of Fame, and I obviously value his talent. And Mr. Hardcore has been a supporter of one. There's guys like Rodney Casket who are in GWC, are also part of Future Atlanta Pro, and there might be a name or two that you actually know in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling, but I'm not going to say the name on the air. Let's just say that Mr. Hardcore might know who that is. Let's just leave it at that. Sound good?
Yeah.
I don't want to pull a Craven Rage. I think really seriously tonight, my whole job is to make sure you don't pull a Craven Rage. With all due respect, I want to make sure
you're fine.
No, I got that. I'm just telling you for the audience to kind of, in tongue in cheek. So I think we're good with that. So anything else you want to say before closing thoughts? Anything else that's on your mind you want to address tonight?
I do want to once again congratulate Dalton on becoming the last Uprising champion.
Absolutely.
He is the only man to ever hold both the Battleground and Uprising championships in the original PWF.
Yes.
I do, even though I was yanking Justin Parsley's chain.
Yank it more often because he seems to thrive on that. Justin Parsley now all of a sudden, I first met him a year ago, and even like 3 months ago, he's completely changed. So he likes that stuff now. He seems to thrive on people yanking his chain.
Yeah, I do want to congratulate him. I do hope that someday the we can all both PWS can collab and we can all get together and do a big Pride Wrestling Federation show.
Well, I have a vote on that. I know I don't have the majority vote, but I have a vote. My vote would say
Yes.
thumbs up. My vote. I don't know if my vote counts for something. I don't
yes.
really go. Oh, thank you. I appreciate. I'm glad somebody thinks I count, but I'm only kidding. But no, I really do. My style is I am very open minded. And I just want to say something if you don't mind. And I'm so excited that you are running the PWF Mid-South. If I could just say something for a second, if you don't mind. I'm so excited that you're doing it. I'm so excited Dimitri's alongside you. I'm so excited what Omen and Soldier have done with the PWF. I'm so excited about a lot of the stuff I've seen with Mr. Hardcore. And the reason, if I could, to say that I'm excited about it, because, what happened Tuesday night with Craven Rage and what happened, which we saw on WCE's recent show, I really don't like when owners or other people say one thing and then go into business for themselves. Or even Justin Parsley's owner in his company. He seems like more and more every day I hear things from different people on and off the air, which really tells me that when I hear things like this or see things like this, when I hear things like what Craven Rage did before my own very eyes, or even what I saw today in Justin Parsley's promotion, when it was pretty apparent to me that Justin Parsley should have won that Kurt Acid Battle Royal Memorial. These things are what I hear from the owner and operator of the company that Justin Parsley works for. And I hear the stories on and off the air. And I see guys in other feds like Jack Delta, who carry so much respect in this circuit. A man that has traveled more than anybody else. And a man that has done so much for our community, almost get back talked by another owner from another promotion who Jack Delta traveled hundreds of miles for, to go out there and put his blood, sweat, and tears out there to build his company. Or, if you don't mind me saying this, Aaron Blaze, who's the UWA Heritage Champion, obviously a man you would love to have in the PWF Mid-South, and a man anybody would be so lucky to have. And it seems like he had similar experiences with that. And it just really, it bothers me because I try to run things to be extremely open-minded. I try to give people unconditional support, unconditional ability, even if some people say it's a detriment to me, because I hear time and time again, guys like Craven Rage, guys like Josh Fletcher and XCW, guys in other places seem to do the wrong things, and they do it over and over and over. And I'm so glad to see guys like you, guys like Mr. Hardcore, who are doing it the right way, and guys like over in NEW, Jake Dvorak and Justin Abel Sane, off my movement, creating a hardcore championship. That's what I like to see. Or I like to see this Saturday, Resurrection and TBW working together. These are things, ROEW working together with DKW. DKW now officially a part of ROEW's roster. The IMF and all the things that they have done. These are things that I want to see, because when I hear and see these things on my platform, I feel like that I need to go up and say something, because I feel like guys come here because they want to be treated right. They want to be treated with class. And I'm sick and tired of guys who own things that don't do the right thing or don't treat people with class, when I know from me that everybody that comes here gets treated with class and dignity and honor and integrity. And I will, if I have to, I will do anything I can to help anybody out there. And it really it feeds into what was said a few weeks ago when somebody said 80% of backyard and underground wrestling, it was toxic, and it's not. What's toxic is individuals who make bad decisions and individuals who run and operate things in a way that's to the detriment of not just their own selves, but to the community as a whole. So if I have to continue to do it each and every night, if I have to go on here each and every night to give people an opportunity, you better believe I'm going to do it. And I will even say this. If somebody one day needs me to interject and help a company, I really don't want to do those things. I still do not want to get involved in wins and losses. I don't want to get involved in those things. I really don't. But I just want people to know I'm happy that Tristan's involved, Dimitri's involved, Mr. Hardcore, what Justin Abel's saying and Jake Dvorak have done with the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament, the Riot in the Ring, what I'm seeing with TBW and Resurrection, what I've seen with the IMF, ROEW, James Taylor, JX, Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, what UWA has done, a lot of UWA talent. I want to give Jake a round of applause. Jake has been very supportive. He's been open-minded. He's used his time to help and be supportive here. This is what I want. I don't want to see and continue to hear about what has been seen on this platform, what I've heard from people over the last few days. So that's my rant. I'll get to a few more comments. I'm thinking clear as day, man. The match that I was supposed to hear was the match I was asking for. Heart of a Warrior never backs down to no one. No match or no other backyards. Let's do it. We'll have to find out. And this guy, I don't know if you know anything about him, but apparently he's a part of Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. And his name is Michael Blackheart. Michael Blackheart, who's joined us. And if you haven't yet, by the way, hit the sub button for me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. So tell your friends, tell their friends. You take over the platform. Tristan Taylor might take it over. Indeed, let's do this Battle of the Backyards. And on my list, Tristan Taylor. See you down the road, pal. Move on from this, right? We know nothing about this. And just let's see what happens, right? See what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll watch Michael Blackheart on August 24th. But we'll certainly see. Never say never, I suppose, huh?
Yeah,
right?
Never say never.
Good enough. That was certainly the answer we were looking for. I think I got the point, and maybe we'll see some of these guys here in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling real soon. As a matter of fact, before I let you go and get to closing thoughts, we are going to see the guys from Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling here. You know why? Because next Sunday, their worldwide Universal Champion, Andre Anomaly, who called out Sportswire Radio, said he needs to be here. He's going to be here live 7 o'clock Eastern time next Sunday. Maybe if you're not doing anything, you might want to tune in to hear what the champion has to say. You might want to be there for that because maybe you can maybe go and ask him some of the same things that these guys in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling did to you tonight. Just saying.
I'll be here.
All right. I look forward to that. I want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. I know you've been a busy man. I want to pass the baton to you, my friend. I want to put up some PWF links shortly here one more time. And thank you so much as always. I can't wait to watch you and Sammy Slade. Can't wait to watch you and Dalton and anything else we can do. And I pass the baton to you and fire away, my friend.
All right. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I want to once again apologize for me being late.
No need to apologize. We had a great show. There is no need to apologize. I think this platform is All Wrestling Matters, and I think we've done just fine tonight. There were plenty of people here, plenty of comments, so I don't think that you need to do any apologizing. My friend. Don't you worry about that.
Also, we need to get Tom to 1,000 views so that we can take over, so we can roast him, and he also needs his tattoo.
Yes, because you have it through, and you'll have to give me advice when I get closer. So
Yes. UWA needs at least 4 more subscribers so that we can get to 600.
I'm looking at you guys in the FAPW Underground Wrestling Alliance on YouTube. I'm looking at you. I'm going to put that link up here one more time. Get those guys to 600. I want 600 subs by tonight. So if you're in Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling, if you want to work with these guys, you want to be All Wrestling Matters, I want sub buttons right now. Subscribe to.
I mean, you guys want to like and subscribe? Awesome. Please go like and subscribe to the PWF channel.
Yes.
That would be awesome as well.
We're closing in on 600 as well. Yes, we're closing in.
That helps me. That helps Tom. That helps Omen. That helps Soldier. Helps us
Helps
all.
the community. Together we all win. Together we all win.
Merch?
Yeah. Oh, listen. ADT was here Monday and basically said, look, if you buy merchandise, it helps the company. So, yes, buy some
Yes, it
merchandise.
does. Yes, it does. It also helps my guys.
Yes, it's ADT had the same conversation you had here. So, yes, buy merchandise. And I will be buying merchandise soon as well because all I own is wrestling shirts at this point. So, I might as well add more to the collection.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of which, I've got something in the works specifically for Mr. Tom Bryce. So,
oh God! well, when I get to 1,000 subs, I am expecting the world to basically like put something in my mouth. I don't know, but thank you for that. But I appreciate that. Is there anything else, my friend, that you'd like to say before we say sayonara?
Watch Last Rites.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, we got Aaron and Mikey Reedy. We got Chase and Jake. We got you and Sammy. I mean, I'm sure Brett's going to be on the ET's been just doing a hell of a job promoting. I mean, I'm just like fired up right now. Everything UWA, the video, the black and white thing that was on the screen. We talked about that on the show recently. I mean, just so many things. UWA is just on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. And I want people to follow, and UWA's got merchandise as well. I want to thank everybody here. One more time, hit the subs for them. Also, PWF, hit all the links, Facebook, pride.wrestling.federation.midsouth. Definitely please follow the PWF. Please support them. I can't wait. Also, August 26th, very excited about that. I definitely want to get you on after that. Maybe put you in the Hall of Fame after that because I'm expecting some big matches, some big wins coming up. So I want to get you into the Hall of Fame for everything you've done for us. I think I'll have a good speech for you. I'll definitely remember to say you're 6'5" instead of 5'8". I'm sure you'll love that part one. Yeah, well, that's I'm sure I'll do those things. You're making me feel tall. I'm only 6 foot. People go, oh wow, you're actually 6 foot. I guess I am, but. Different conversation for a different time. I will definitely look forward to having you here in the Hall of Fame, having more PWF coverage. I really am excited about that. Also, future Atlanta Pro Wrestling coverage next Sunday, Andre and Amelie. And tomorrow, Ace Reed, 10:15, all the way from Australia, the land of Down Under. And I'll be back. I'll have a break and then back here at midnight with a major surprise, major surprise. You won't want to miss it. My friend, congratulations on the upcoming return to the ring. Can't wait for Last Rites. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Sammy slam it out there and kill it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Unleashed and definitely continue to be the Black Label, continue to leash some dirty South on us. And thank you for all that you do for us. And by the way, Mr. Hardcore, subscribe to the PWF and give me the UWA sub because it gets them to 600. So all my people here right now, if you're here right now, hit the sub button for UWA and Jake can thank me later. Jake can just come back to Sportswire. Just come back and support the platform. So don't take it any other way personally. But thank you, Mr. Hardcore, for that. And thank you, my friend. This was fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad people tuned out. But Sportswire is it's a whole different environment. And you could have been 3 hours late. I had no doubt the Church of All Wrestling Matters, somebody would have attended Mass and we would have had, I'm sure, a lively conversation regardless. But thank you very much as always. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. It definitely made me feel a lot better after the last couple of days on Sportswire Radio. And just go back and watch the shows and find out why. But that was my friend Tristan Taylor. He is doing a phenomenal job as the owner of the PWF Mid-South, the other PWF in beautiful Tennessee. Maybe they'll work together with future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. And I hope that if you're here out there on Sportswire Radio 6579, you hit a sub button for us. Also, Mr. Hardcore gave a sub to UWA. There you go. Thank you, Jake. You appreciate me later. But certainly, we had a lot of fun. We're talking about upcoming stuff. August 26th, Dalton Skull and Tristan Taylor for the unified titles in the PWF and the FCW. Final championships there to be awarded. Also, Last Rites is coming up. Tristan will be squaring off with Sammy Slade, Aaron Blaze, and Mikey Reedy's on that show. Jay Cal and Chase Sullivan. Dirty South is in action. Really excited about that. Also, future Pro Atlanta Wrestling. Atlanta Pro Wrestling has a lot of stuff on the works. We look forward to that. Also, Skulls, how you doing? Rip Leo Burks. Yes, very sorry about Leo Burks. definitely thoughts and prayers on that. And Skulls, if you're here, hit the sub button for the Underground Wrestling Alliance. They're trying to get to 600 subs. They're like 2 or 3 away. So if you give them a sub, it'll help them. My friend Jay Cal in beautiful Tennessee there. So hit them a sub button. Let's get them to 600. Also hit the sub button for the PWF, for Jay Cal's company. They're closing in on 600 subs. It's portion of it is mine, but it's really more for Jake and to support with alongside Tristan and everybody else. So hit the sub buttons for them. I'll be here 10:15 tomorrow. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. Remember, get me to 1,000 subs. Support everybody, because remember, together we win. Together we win. We are here figuratively and literally in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio. And I'll see everybody with Ace Reed and then a surprise afterwards. Thanks, everybody. Go follow PWF Mid-South